and simple today. Obviously, a lot of the meals that I make tend to be slightly more labor intensive, but not every meal has to be extra. So, going back to something more that I would have likely eaten as a child. We have Costco chicken with some rice and veggies. Very simple. Starting off with our rice here. We got some black rice from H Mart, so we're gonna use some of that. But pulling out our rotisserie chicken here. I absolutely hate these bags that they put them in now. They're just a pain in the butt to try and work with and to get out, and then the edge becomes gross, and it's just I know it's supposed to be less plastic and blah blah blah, but these bags are just so not fun. Does anybody else miss the Costco Kirkland rotisserie chicken containers? Because I know I do. These bags just kill me. But oh well. Trying to get this thing out as clean as possible. This sucker weighs a ton though. I always try to pick out the bigger bird just so that I can have, more meat. It's a $5 bird, and we're all about making the most of our money. So we're gonna try to break this down a little bit for tonight. I don't want to reheat the entire bird for this, and we're actually gonna end up using the rest of it for another recipe. But for now, we're gonna try and see if we can get these the breast off and section those off, because that's really what I'm going to use for this. Just the white meat specifically, and just pulling it away, and then we'll slice it up. But yeah, I don't know. I love Costco. Our Costco here has, I think are they turkey sandwiches right now? They brought back some sandwich item. It's okay, I'm not crazy about it, to be honest. My favorite Costco counter, is it a hot foods counter? Is it a deli counter? I'm not sure what you call it, but food court. My favorite thing used to be the combination pizza, and you get the combination pizza, and it had, what was it? Black olives, which weren't my thing, but it did have bell peppers and onions, and I think it had sausage, or did it not? Maybe I'm but it had the veggies on it, and the veggies on the pizza, that was the best slice you could get. Costco slice, and then you get a drink, and yeah, I miss that. Now all you have is cheese and pepperoni, which is fine, I guess, but I totally miss the combination pizza. I wish that would come back. But also, our Costco recently brought back the chocolate frozen yogurt. Oh my freaking gosh. And they added a couple variations on it. They took the strawberries from their strawberry sundae thing, and now they put it on the frozen yogurt, and you can do the swirl. I don't know. The frozen yogurt is the best thing ever. I shared one with Mix last time we went, and he was like, wow, this is really good. I was like, yeah. Ugh, my goodness. But you can get strawberries, or you can get, I think, their chocolate syrup on it, which is, I'm pretty sure it's just Hershey's, if I'm not mistaken. Which, that's good too. But I love getting the swirl, because then you get the chocolate, and you get the vanilla, and then if you get the sundae topping of the strawberries, and it's like chocolate, vanilla, strawberry. Oh my goodness. Anyways, this is why I'm trying to lose weight, because I love to eat, and I want to be able to eat everything and fit in my clothes. So, the goal is just fit in our clothes. That's a pretty realistic goal. Healthy and all that, blah blah blah, whatever, but just fit in your clothes. I think that's, if I can fit in my clothes and maintain that, I'll be happy. But right now, we're working on it. Anyways, basically got that chicken breast out for the most part, and then the rest of the chicken carcass we're actually gonna be using this for another meal, and I'll end up taking the rest of the meat off of this and turning these bones into some chicken broth, because more bang for your buck, why not? Like a box of chicken stock at the store, even at Winco, is like $2 something, $3 something almost. It's not cheap. And times are tough out here, you know? trying to stretch our food as much as possible so that we can get everything that we want and we don't have to necessarily scamp. And plus, why not? If I have it and I have the veggie bits to go with it, I have the time to make it, so we'll do that. Putting all of this chicken though into these little pie pan containers that you guys have seen before, simply because I do want to put this in the oven and let these warm up and get rid of that refrigerator chill on them. Don't want to overheat them though, because this is the breast meat, and if we do too much, it will definitely dry out. So got to figure out. I think also to make sure that they don't dry out, we're gonna cover them up with some foil here and just kind of lock in that moisture so that the heat stays in, and because dry chicken is not too fun. It's not the worst, and it's still edible, and if you have dry chicken, that's okay. That's what sauce is for, or mayonnaise, but I'm trying to avoid using too much sauce or mayonnaise, so we're just gonna wrap these up and we'll put them in the oven and we'll let them go while we finish the rest of our meal. When I was growing up, in particular, most of our weeknight meals, I want to say I think my mom made for us, but it was always a standard of you'd always wash rice, and we'd have rice, and we'd have some sort of a veggie. Sometimes it was just a can of corn, or it was a can of green beans. Other times, if we had fresh veggies, that was even better. But it was your rice, your veggie, and some sort of a protein. Sometimes it was a rotisserie chicken. Sometimes it was something that we made at home. Sometimes it was shoyu hot dogs, but we had whatever was available, and that was what we had for the week. Gonna give our veggies a nice little wash off. We got these shiitake mushrooms from H Mart, as well as the bok choy. Bok choy, I don't know if anybody else has ever worked with this, but man, this stuff is dirty. It has so much sand in it. I end up having to wash it again just because the dirt gets stuck in the leaves and the inside, and you have to make sure you get that sand out. You really, really want to make sure you wash these veggies, because buggies love to hide in these. So I'm just going to give these a rough chop down, and then we'll actually go soak those and give those another rinse and good wash off. And then for the bok choy, the baby bok choy, I'm actually going to separate the whites from the greens, because the white part tends to cook a little bit longer and the greens cook super, super fast, and I don't want to overcook the green, at least for this. When I make bok choy for my dad, I tend to leave them more whole because that's what he likes, but I kind of want to make these slightly more manageable to eat, so they're not quite bite size, but they're a large bite size right now. But just giving those a little chop, separating the leaves from, leaf doesn't look so nice, separating the leaves from the whites and getting those all ready to go for our pan. We're gonna end up pan frying these and kind of like doing like a Chinese style. There's a lot of water in there though. Alright, so put the leaves on the bottom, followed by the whites, and then lastly we gotta slice up our shiitake mushrooms. Sometimes I do this without the mushrooms if I don't have them, but since we do have the mushrooms, why not? Because mushrooms are amazing, especially these, and they add so much flavor to just about anything, really. I love shiitake mushrooms. I had a friend who didn't like shiitake mushrooms, and it was always such a mind-boggling thing. And I would ask why you don't like them. He's like, "Oh, I just don't like them." Mind you, he was vegetarian or pescatarian, and I was like, "Oh, are you allergic?" He's like, "No, I just don't like the texture." I was like, "Oh, okay." I was like, "That's fine." I made so many dishes with shiitake mushrooms in it, and he always ranted and raved about it, and I just didn't say what was inside. And like, I never feed him meat, but I never fed him the like I do shiitake mushrooms, and oftentimes I do like a baby Bella, but I for sure put shiitake mushrooms, and he was like, "Oh, this is so good," and I was like, "Oh, thank you." Oh, you don't say. So I'm like, "Yeah, bro, you are a picky eater, and that's fine. But if you are the picky eater with the dietary restrictions, and I'm just making food out of out of my own little pocket, I'm gonna make what's gonna be good for me and for everyone, and I'm pretty sure it's just your taste buds, because you're not allergic to this. You just for some reason mentally think that it's not good. It's just funny." If it was an allergy, I wouldn't have done that, but it was 100% just I just don't like the flavor. I don't like it was a texture thing, and I was like, "Okay, bro. We can fix that. You won't know what's inside. I will make you vegetarian sushi with this mushroom, and you will never know." And it was actually pretty good, so even better. Kind of giving our garlic here a rough chop. We also had an onion that was a leftover onion, and let's see here. Pulling out my pan. We're gonna use a slightly larger one this time and get that ready. And nice and hot. And turn on the thing. I'm noticing now, and I'm so sorry guys, that I've kind of left my my camera settings to do this autofocus thing. I don't mind it too much, but I might have to redo it. So long as I remember to do it when I'm recording next time. But hot pan, cold oil, throwing down our veggies. We're going to start with those whites again, because I said they take a little bit longer to cook, and we want to make sure they have some time. So we're going to get some color on these, and then also kind of like flip them over so that they can get a little bit of that browning on the cut side, because it'll look prettier, and I think it tastes better too when it has that a little bit of caramelization. I'm not sure how much sugar's in these, but caramelization. See, these cook pretty fast, and the oil is totally splattering and jumping and biting me, and I'm like trying not to get burned, but it's doing that. Anyways, we got those down. We're gonna let them go for a minute here. Also to this, for the sauce part of it, you're gonna need to use some cornstarch, and if you've ever worked with cornstarch, you need to make sure you add it to a separate dish. Don't put it directly into the hot pan, but place it in a cup with some water and mix up into a slurry before you add it, and don't add it until the end of your dish, otherwise everything just gets way too thick. Then we're adding in our beautiful, beautiful shiitake mushrooms. So good. Oh yeah. So our Costco in this area is we have 2 or so, but 2 Costcos in this area, but the one that is closer to us, that we go to a lot, is near, we'll just call it like a retirement type of community, where there's a lot of a older demographic that tends to shop at this place. So when we go to Costco, like many things out here actually, we like to go when it's after the sun's gone down, because if you go after the sun's gone down, then the older drivers tend to not like to be out that late, and the store isn't filled with the older shoppers, and you don't have to fight in the aisles just to make your way down, or you don't have some angry person trying to shove their way past you every 5 seconds. So it's actually it's kind of nice. So when I go to Costco, it's usually in the evenings, but Costco's only open that late during the weekday, so that means I have to go during the weekday, which is like, ah, man, it's not the worst, but still. Ooh, look at that. I'm adding a little bit of our onion, kind of giving that a stir. Yeah, this zooming thingy, I'm so sorry, guys. A little bit harder to see the pan, but we'll get to it. Look at that. Isn't that nice? Ooh. A little stir. Lovely. I wish you guys could smell this because it smells so good, and everything's kind of getting a good char. We're going to add a little bit of salt to it, season our veggies up because veggies need salt. Not everybody can eat them plain, so we're going to add the veggies here. We have our garlic that we gave our chop. Going to throw that in as well. Let that start seasoning up, and while that is cooking lightly, we'll get our tops. And now the green tops, actually, they cook so fast that by the time that the garlic is completely sauteed in, the tops will be cooked. This pan is a little bit on the full side, but we're working with it, and it's okay. Man, I love veggies. But I think at this point we need to get our slurry ready. So we have some chicken broth here, obviously the Winco one, and we also have some you know what? Let's put some of this chicken broth in right now first and kind of let that steam some of the veggies. Just get it going, and also try to loosen up some of those bits on the bottom. This would definitely be a weeknight dinner for us, though, because maybe not with all the veggies, but some sort of veggie. We ate a lot of steamed veggies growing up, now that I think about it. Steamed broccoli, steamed cauliflower, green beans, snap peas, snow peas, asparagus. Yeah, we ate a lot of veggies. This is some white pepper that I have. Gonna grind that on because it goes well with the flavor. Kind of going with like a more Chinese influence with these veggies. Bok choy tends to have kind of a more anise flavor, or like a licoricey flavor to it. So I really like to add a lot of seasoning and a lot of flavors just to kind of temper down that bitter cabbagey flavor. It can be a little bit strong at times. Now, at this point, you don't technically have to add in the cornstarch if you don't mind it being thinner. I do like the way that the cornstarch kind of thickens everything up and gives it a little bit of it allows the sauce kind of to stick to it and stick to everything, but totally not something you have to do if you're not into that. Yeah, we would have stir fries too a lot, like a stir fry plus that protein. A little bit of coloring with the shoyu. And we're gonna turn down our heat because it's just about there. The greens have all wilted. The whites are mostly cooked, and we're gonna add in our cornstarch here. Make sure it's all stirred in, no clumps. And then we're just gonna put that in. And then mix it up, and you guys will see like almost instantly it it starts to thicken. Need to give it a good stir though. And pretty simple, right? Pretty simple. That's about it. You can add in, for when I do these, I like to add in shoyu, soy sauce, salt, pepper, usually white pepper. And then at the end, oops, I'd like to drop my chopsticks. No. At the end, I like to do just a little drizzle of sesame oil for the flavor. And less is more when it comes to sesame oil, so you definitely don't want to overdo it. But a little bit sesame oil. The pan's still warm, but obviously I turned off the heat. And that's it. Pretty simple. You could garnish it with sesame seeds if you want. I have my favorite little plates here that I've been using for our lunches, which consist of these. They've got these little dividers on them. I don't know about you guys, but I don't always like my food to kind of, mix and mingle all the time. Sometimes certain items should taste like certain items and not like the item that's next to them, but I don't know, maybe I'm just picky like that. I appreciate the different flavors, and I don't want my stuff to be all mixed up. It just doesn't appeal to me. Is anybody else like that? Like, I've always been like this. My family, my dad would just throw everything on his plate. I remember we'd always, when we go to my grandparents' house, we'd always have like a green salad, plus rice, plus a main, usually a soup of some sort, like miso soup or something. Oh, look at that purple rice. Isn't that pretty? A soup of some sort, plus a main, plus a side dish and whatever else. And I'd always like to start with my salad. And so I would, I'd put my lettuce on my plate, and I would put all the stuff I wanted on my salad, and then I would put my dressing on, I'd eat my salad, and then I would get up and I would go and rinse off my plate because it had salad dressing on it after I was done. Meanwhile, my dad would just throw everything on the plate, or, the rest of my family just throw everything on their plate, and they would laugh at me because I got up to go and clean my dressing off my plate so that my rice doesn't taste like salad dressing. I was like, dang, I don't want my other food to taste like my other food. Like, if it's something that's like, oh, butter, that's like a neutral, but salad dressing? That's too much. So, oh, we got some, doing a little check. Yep. Okay, we're good to go. The chicken. And we're just going to put this on the plate here, obviously. These big old slices. And just kind of fanning them out because it looks prettier that way, of course. But yeah, I adore these plates just because it gives you that little well. And if I have a veggie that has like a sauce, it's a lot easier. But I'll catch you guys later. Goodbye.